Do you feel that in a time when we are more connected than ever, we are drifting away from real human connections, especially to ourselves? I do. Hi, I'm Leticia Latino, and I want to invite you to join me and my very inspiring guests in exploring ways to reconnect to your essence, to your definite purpose, to what makes you tick. Are you ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Back to Basics, Reconnecting to the Essence of You. As you know, I've been committed in the past weeks to bring you guests that can also ease the situation about what we're going through with the coronavirus pandemic. So I'm excited to have Waleed Nasir, who is the head of products at Virtual Force and a COVID-19 Intel advisor. He's helping businesses realign in wake of disruptions by adopting state-of-the-art infrastructure, tools, and a globally distributed workforce. Hello, Waleed. How you doing?
Hi, Leticia. How's it going?
All good, all good. I understand you're all holed up because you are in New York City, correct?
That is correct. You may hear my kids screaming in the background because I'm working from home today. So
That's okay.
my apologies.
No, that's okay. I think part of the charm of this whole period, and I mentioned it on my coronavirus special episode, is that we're all becoming a little bit more lenient, more tolerant. We are becoming better people as it is, just through this whole process, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So great. Well, it's great to have you. And as I said on the intro, we are very interested in giving people and the back to basic audience a little bit of, what we always give them, which is motivation and inspiration, but also some tools that they can use through these difficult times. Because no matter if you're a CEO, if you're a business owner, or if just an employee, and you just go and maybe lost your job, I mean, everybody is being disrupted right now. There's no difference. So any advice that we can get from a COVID-19 Intel advisor, wow, that's pretty impressive. Yes. So I'm obviously curious to know how you got there, but I want to know first a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally? Tell us about your childhood. What did you enjoy? Those early and tender years. What can you share with us?
Sure. Interestingly, I was born in Saudi Arabia. That's where my parents were, back then. Originally from Pakistan. Grew up in Saudi Arabia, went for high school in Pakistan, and then came to US. Growing up, I was a very shy kid, just limited myself and my activities to things that I was supposed to be doing, and didn't really create a lot of trouble, is what I hear from my mom, saying about me.
That's good. How old were you when you arrived in the US?
I was 25.
Okay, so you were already, a man, basically. How hard was that? No, because it makes a difference. I always ask this question because it's different if you move to a place when you're 6 and you barely remember what it was to be back home, or if you're 15 where you're in the middle of like teenage years, which are, I think, the worst for me to move. But you were, a man leaving your country behind. How was arriving in the U.S.?
Well, for me, it has been an amazing experience because I came to US as a Fulbright scholar, which was an exchange scholarship program, and studying at University of Michigan, studying computer science, doing research, and like didn't really experience the American life until I went back and then came back to US again to Yale for my business degree and started working in 2015. So I still consider myself fresh off the boat.
Uh-huh.
But living in New York has been pretty fascinating because in my view, living in New York is like living like spending a year here is like spending 3 years elsewhere. It's just the pace of life is really fast, and you get to experience a lot more because of the variety of things that the city has to offer. So I've been fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's probably my favorite city in the whole world, and I cannot imagine. Now you're living it. You're holed up in New York, which is a city. If one cannot imagine a city that stopped, is New York City. Even unfortunately during the 9/11 tragedy, the city, yeah, it was stopped as you knew it, but there was so much going on anyway that it wasn't stopped. This is like people not even being on the streets. So I think that's
Absolutely.
very much a unique situation that we're going through right now.
Yep.
And so, and what do you? Well, we're jumping. We're not. I'm not gonna use my regular format here, but there's so much interesting things that you just said. So, from live in New York, like obviously you were coming from very different type of city and background. What did you like in terms of? Did you end up studying in University of Michigan and Yale? What you like? Like, would you consider that you're living your passion? You studied what you were passionate about?
Yes, definitely, and especially my transition into business and finance was also pretty fascinating because being an engineer and combining that with like a business education did extend my horizon in so many different ways. And you know, in the wake of recent happenings and the COVID situation unfolding, that itself has been a tremendous journey for myself because I have been personally affected by it. My wife is a physician. She's on the front lines and she got sick, and that really transpired into me kind of like waking up to this cause and doing this full time. So I literally have taken a sabbatical from my employer, and I told them I want to focus on this and this alone for the next 3 months. It's I know it's short lived. It's gonna we're gonna be past it very, very very soon. But you know, being in a situation where the people exposed to me, my parents are in New York as well, and being quarantined by the hospital for a few weeks, I did go through a lot of moments of like what like thinking about you know my family and you know like what they really mean to me, and this really transpired into what I'm doing now, which is just building products surrounding COVID-19, which was what I was already doing as part of Virtual Force, but in a different capacity.
Wow, that's powerful. And hopefully, is your wife okay right now?
She's in quarantine. She's been exposed to coronavirus, but they haven't tested her yet because the symptoms haven't been obvious.
Hmm.
But apparently, you know, a bunch of her colleagues were also exposed, and they're all in quarantine right now.
Yeah,
And
well,
so are we.
well, that's admirable. You know, it's part of what I've been talking in the episodes. It's I feel that we're living a moment where, as human beings, we have to step it up and we have to raise to the occasion and to a higher mission. And so, what you're saying is very inspirational in the sense that you know you have your life and now yeah it touched you and you are motivated to help others during this time. So there's definitely, I'm sure, a mixture of feelings, right? You're dealing with your own family and you have how many kids?
Just one son,
Okay.
10 months old.
Oh wow, so yeah, definitely you have your plate full. And now your wife in quarantine. I can only imagine, and you're at the epicenter of the U.S. Pandemic, so to speak. So in within all the time, how do you find the inspiration and time and focus to develop and to help others? Because I understand you're trying to help business owners and advising also CEOs on how to keep your business going and to create if you don't have a business continuity plan, correct?
That's right. That's a great question. So I think the reality that this is way beyond us. I just feel that I am personally very insignificant. We're all pretty insignificant compared to what we are dealing with, and um, you know, I just thought to myself, like, what is it that I could possibly do to make a meaningful dent in the universe? And having almost faced the brink of extinction in some capacity, I also, you know, thought a lot about what did I really do in life. Yes, all these credentials are great. You know, having a great job is a great thing. But what would have given me a sense of fulfillment? And I came to a realization that just like adding value, doing something beneficial for the rest of us, and helping others is perhaps the only thing that I would have wished to have done more. So I basically kind of steered in that direction, and have focused all of my efforts in that direction. So, for example, I'm now building with the epidemic. The hospitals are the main bottleneck. They have limited capacity, and hospitals are uh, showcasing these numbers that they're seeing in terms of the confirmed cases and deaths and what have you. But that's the very, very, very tip of the iceberg. Like, we don't even know what rest of the population is like. So I just took it on myself to build an app where people can track, self-report, potentially self-diagnose. So we're working with a team of infectious diseases expert to kind of figure out a solution that can get in the hands of the population, and so that they can start reporting it, to have another data set for the states and the hospitals to see what the rest of the population might look like. Similarly, I'm building on a COVID game, so it's like a way to keep yourself entertained with everybody being forced to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a significant uptick. Like, you can't find PlayStation,
Yeah. Yeah.
out there. So just it's like a way to knowing that human beings also need entertainment, and with us confined, the gaming industry is also being impacted, and people are looking for new avenues for entertainment. So I'm just building a COVID game where people can shoot down the virus
Mm-hmm.
wherever it shows up in there. So it's like a mixed reality kind of an application where you can you can project it on your room or wherever you are, sitting, and you can fight with the virus with your
You we
your
can
phone.
let all this anger out, right? And
Yes.
and get our own
So
response.
and honestly, even this like may not mean anything in the grander scheme of things, but all of us have a role to play, and so that's what it really boils down to.
Well, I definitely congratulate you because I feel that many times we feel that sense of urgency to step it up and say, I can do something more. And it's not often that people say, let's just do it. And you're recognizing that it's a unique time where we are not going out. Most of us, we are not on mandatory lockdown in Florida where I'm at, but me and my family have been self isolated for the past 12 days,
Yep.
understanding that this is the magnitude of what we are facing here, and it's the only thing we can do. And it's something I personally struggle with because I understand, and I'm a business owner, and trust me, I understand the financial impact this has. But at the same time, is what kind of decision do we make, and what is it motivating us, right? When you say, well,
Absolutely.
everybody's going to get infected anyway, and we're going to lose part of the population. And that's how you hear some leaders talking. And I totally understand, when you see it
Mhm.
like that, it's very black and white. But when those 18,000 people that so far this virus has claimed globally are your grandparents or your parents or someone that takes a very different perspective. Or your wife,
Exactly.
God forbid, that she gets well soon. But this, when you put a face to that, then it cannot be all about money and the economy.
Yeah, that's so true, and the fact that financially as well, this is wreaking havoc, all over the globe, and so many people are going out of jobs or are going to go out of jobs potentially. And having studied finance, also added misery to my the internal like conflicts that I'm going through. Like, on more people are going to go bankrupt than it might potentially kill, right? So there's a very there's a very fine balance between, like, where do you draw the line, because we as human beings also need to continue to like thrive and stay afloat. So seeing the entire city empty, does scare me, because if an economic hub of that size, is stopped, like that itself could have a lot of repercussions. So, but I hear you. It is a very challenging time for all of us.
Yeah, and I think how we are dealing with, at least me and my husband and the family, is like we have to do with what feels right for us. Like even if
Hmm.
I'm not on the high risk segment and my kids, I cannot just go around walking like if nothing happened. I just couldn't do it. And the problem is we're sharing the world with a lot of people that have no problem doing exactly that. And
Yep. Yep.
and I think that's where the conflict comes up. But well, you've told us bits and pieces of what you're working on. Is there anything in particular, like any advice you have for businesses who were not set up from working from home? This is also something new for all of us. What can you share in terms of that aspect of things?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This came as a surprise for everyone, and my only advice for businesses is that you guys need to act like right now. Rethink, reinvent, transform, change. Well, if anything, this is going to be a big change for all of us, at an economical level and also at a personal level. So be brace the change. I understand. Some people may not be impacted by this. Like my wife, being a physician, she's going to do just fine. Obviously, the exposure part is there, but healthcare industry is going to just fine. If anything, they're going to grow in terms of like hires and whatnot. But other industries may not. So for those people, it's really important for them to rethink how they do business and take new actions, activate new talent, activate new skills, and get more digital savvy, for example. Get more cost conscious. Those are the things that if they're taken actions on now, can save them a lot of headache down the road and potential risks down the road. So we're going to see a lot of activity, people changing jobs and so on, in near future. So now would be a good time to just rethink and recalibrate.
I think that's a great advice. And I always say that any opportunity you have, well, when I came to the US, I was 22, so we weren't that far apart in age, but I really took it as an opportunity to reinvent myself. Like there were things about me that I did not like, but when you've been with the same people, like I went into the same school for 17 years, pre K to high school. So sometimes your own environment doesn't allow you to change, right? But when you have an opportunity to reinvent yourself and now make those changes, is really unique. And I totally agree with you. I think we can rebrand ourselves and rethink. And that's why I also feel that through this podcast, which I'm also not doing for any major motivation other than I like and I enjoy when people say, oh, something your guest said or you said resonated with me and I made a few changes and it's going great. I think this is a time to do just that, going back to basics, rethink, and embrace change, as you very well said. In our case, and I'm going to share this with you, and since you talked about physicians, the communications industry, which is my industry, those workers that build the cellular networks, for the longest time have been like obscured in a way because now we take the phone for granted and we forget that there's real people doing the work out there. And
Mm.
believe it or not, during these days, there was this whole debate if the communication workers were or were not essential to the economy and and to our life. And of course, to me, it's like, of course, we're essential, right? Everybody's using their phone, as you said. Everybody it's streaming Netflix. That doesn't happen on its own. But even that, like, so we were saying this is an opportunity for our workers to really rebrand themselves and gain that recognition that they haven't had for the longest time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So I think that you leave us with a great point, Waleed, and definitely, I think we're gonna be hearing more of you. I'm gonna put all your contact info in the show notes, and I leave it open for you for any final thoughts you may want to share to close the episode.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, first of all, and just wanted to get the word out there that I'm doing all of this pro bono, and we have set up COVID-19 Intel Advisory Group, which is a group of experts who are helping businesses in different capacities. For example, we have like leadership coaches who are helping leaders kind of think through all of this, career coaches who are helping people navigate their career choices. But we also have like growth hackers and financial advisors, bankruptcy lawyers who are just helping businesses kind of navigate different options. And so reach out, and I will be happy to put people in touch with whoever may be able to help out.
Wow, that's really amazing and inspirational, and I thank you on behalf of everybody that's gonna benefit from that. That's good work, and the fact that you're putting it pro bono and paying it forward, that speaks a lot about you. So I'm very very happy to have had you in Back to Basics. I think we're gonna be hearing more of you,
Of
and
course.
best of luck to your wife. I wish her a fast recovery and stay safe up there.
Thank you so much, Atisha.
Thank you, Waleed. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Bye.